Guys, from the very start, this case isn't about danger. It's about control and timing. Dad's side walks in fully prepared, stacking concerns like housing, insurance, and job instability. That's not random. It's strategic framing.
Your Honor, may it please the court, Rick Thompson, appearing on behalf of the respondent, Larry Nordstedt, who appears in my conference room for this Zoom hearing.
Right. And Ms. Norstedt, you're representing yourself at this stage, is that correct?
Yes, I'm trying to save money to retain someone, so.
Okay. We're set today for a 14-day review hearing after the court issued ex parte temporary orders. Mr. Thompson, what do you have to report since the issuance of the ex parte order?
Your Honor, I have not received, may it please the court, I have not received any confirmation that Ms. Nordstedt has established any type of suitable housing, Your Honor, nor have I received any information that there's health insurance coverage for the 6-year-old. The 15-year-old boy, Your Honor, is on state insurance because he's special needs, he's deaf, has cerebral palsy. He's in the special education program at Douglas, Your Honor. He has limited cognitive ability. He has a disorder, which names escapes me now, where he has trouble swallowing, Your Honor. So he's a special needs child. He has separate insurance. We're concerned that the 6-year-old does not have insurance because, as I understand, Ms. Nordstedt lost her job as a Douglas city clerk. And according to Ms. Nordstedt, there are 2 different investigations by the Butler County Sheriff relating to her former employment there. I don't know if she has COBRA or if the child is uninsured. If the child is uninsured, we request that Mr. Nordstedt be allowed to immediately obtain insurance for her through his employment. He works for the Douglas School District, Your Honor, over at the high school. And it's my understanding, his understanding, that he could put her on the policy based on these circumstances. So we request the status quo be maintained, Your Honor, with the ex parte order.
Okay, Ms. Norstedt, I'll allow you to address your current situation at this time.
I did not lose my job. I quit the job due to toxic situations. There is not coverage on Bristol right now, but I am working on getting state insurance due to my circumstances. And I have no problem doing that. I will have an update by the end of the week if necessary. And I mean, the 2 charges, they're pending. So, and they're pending. So it was due to the fact that I was in a toxic work environment. And since then there have been some changes. I requested an update from the detective. So I have not heard back from him yet.
Okay. What about the housing situation?
I do not. I'm currently staying with a friend. Finding a house in Douglas is pretty rare. I did request a couple different things and I was denied those. So under that situation, I'm still looking. But I am staying with a friend and it is a stable housing.
So what exactly are you proposing, Mr. Thompson?
Your Honor, we're proposing that the ex parte order remain in place until Ms. Nordstedt files a motion or something to get indicating that she has suitable housing with information. So Mr. Nordstedt could make sure that housing is suitable and then have the court make a determination from there. We did file a motion this morning, Your Honor, for a change in parenting time on a more permanent basis based upon these factors as well as other factors, Your Honor.
All right. What type of parenting time is Ms. Norstedt being allowed under the current order?
Your Honor, I'm sorry, Your Honor. Mr. Norstedt has offered opportunities for her to see both children. She has chosen to see the 6-year-old at daycare. Mr. Norstedt had offered for after school time at a public place since we don't know her living situation. Ms. Nordstedt has declined to take him up on that offer. She has seen the 15-year-old boy at I think it was a music festival?
An art show.
An art show. Mr. Nordstedt invited Ms. Nordstedt to go to an art show that the children one of the children was engaged in, and that was when she saw the 15-year-old boy, Your Honor. But Mr. Nordstedt has offered opportunities where he would be there, and I have the text messages to show that, Your Honor. And Ms. Nordstedt has not taken him up on those offers, Your Honor. We did put a log. It is Exhibit 4, Your Honor, where my client has indicated the time that Ms. Nordstedt has chosen to see the children.
All right. What apart from the housing issue and these other the possible job situation, is there any evidence that the children are in danger or anything by having parenting time with their mother?
Your Honor, not with parenting time with their mother, if it's just solely parenting time. The concern, of course, is that they don't have stable housing. So they're staying on floors, or staying on couches, and they're reporting they were staying at different people's houses on a day-to-day, if not week-to-week, if not day-to-day basis, with my client not knowing where, which is in violation of journal entry. We do not think that Ms. Nordstedt in and of herself is a safety issue. It's just her environment is something we know nothing about, and she doesn't have a stable home environment for the kids. We're also concerned about health issues, taking care of especially the 15-year-old's health needs. But Your Honor, just having visitation with the children doesn't impact that, because Mr. Nordstedt can schedule and make sure we follow through on those things. And a lot of those anecdotal things are included in the motion we filed this morning, Your Honor. But short answer, I gave you a very long answer to what should have been a short answer to your question. Ms. Nordstedt, in and of herself, Mr. Nordstedt does not believe is a threat of harm to the children.
All right. Ms. Nordstedt, and your response?
I don't see why I'm not able to pick them up and take them places and have parenting time and then drop them off at his house. I have no argument that me not having a home is not good for them.
Mom pushes back, but she leans into emotion instead of strategy. She talks about fairness, communication, and being a good parent. That may be true, but it doesn't dismantle Dad's claims. Courts don't operate on feelings, they operate on structure.
Okay, I have my own guilt on that. But Laren never talked to me independently about this. He never tried to address any of these situations with my job, with any of the other things. He never tried to have a conversation with me. He went straight to this. And for me to not see my kids like this is very, very, very not okay. It's not okay. I'm a great mom, first of all. And this is just, it's wrong.
All right, I think we need to establish some sort of scheduled parenting time for Miss Norstedt to be able to exercise rather than it being solely at Mr. Norstedt's discretion. I understand
Thank you.
long-term or overnights may not be appropriate at this time based on the Miss Norstedt's current living situation, but I don't see any reason why she shouldn't be able to have scheduled parenting time. It doesn't sound like you all have had an opportunity to sit down and discuss what that parenting time might look like on a temporary basis. But I would provide that opportunity. If you all don't feel that's going to be productive, then I can just outline some and establish at least a temporary order. It sounds like we probably need to set a hearing down the road on the new motion that's been filed, but I want to have established times for Miss Norstedt to have parenting time. Miss Norstedt, are you working?
Yes.
Okay, what's your work schedule?
It's from 7 to 3:30.
And Your Honor, Mr. Nordstedt had proposed, and this was just because we didn't know where she was living, at the park, Douglas Park, around 5:45, 6:15, 6:30, 7 o'clock. So he did propose that, and that's what she didn't respond to. And I do have the text messages. She said, I will send this to my attorney and see what he has to say. Thank you. And I will let you know. And that was the last we heard of it, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Norstedt, did you receive, or what's your response to what's been proposed?
I think that it's not a bad idea for me to be able to pick them up from Laren's house and drop them back to Laren's house. What he proposed was that he was going to walk around the park like it was a supervised visit. I'm not going to do that. And then he wanted to meet at the Green Frog, which is a bar, when it was bad weather. I'm not going to do that either. My kids are not in danger with me, and like I said, again, I'm not saying that I'm fighting the fact that I don't have a place to live right now. I really respect that for him. But the way that he's acting right now, like on that paper that I was given, I look like a kid mom. I'm not a kid mom. I don't do drugs. I'm the only thing that is putting them in danger is maybe not having a stable home environment, but they've never slept on the floor and they've always had a place to sleep. That is a comfortable setting. I would never allow that for my children. And I'm not, and I wouldn't. So what I'm asking is if I can, on my days, pick them up from school or Laren's house or wherever and drop them back. I don't want a supervised visit. I don't want it to be like that because I don't deserve that. And they don't either.
And Your Honor, that's not what was proposed. I'm reading from the text.
He said he would walk around the park.
One at a time, please.
He said he would walk around the park while I had them.
Let Mr. Thompson respond, please.
I'll just read the text message from Mr. Nordstadt to Mrs. Nordstadt. It's after the Douglas Park from approximately 5:45 to 6:15-ish. You guys can have alone time, and I will either go home or just he jogs, or just jog or walk around there. So he offered, just to give Mr. Nordstadt, so we're clear, he offered he could go home. So it doesn't even look like a supervised visit. I understand Ms. Nordstadt's position to pick up the children, but where are they going to go, Your Honor? Are we going to a friend's house? If so, who is that friend? Where does that friend live? We do need to have some parameters about where she's taking the children.
Well, what evidence is there, Mr. Thompson, that the kids are in danger with her if she exercises this evening parenting time?
No, Your Honor, as to her, none. But if she takes them to someone's house that we don't know, we don't know. That's the problem, Your Honor. If she's saying, I'm going to take him to the restaurant in Douglas, I'm not familiar with Douglas, the Green Frog, or whatever, Pizza Hut, or wherever it is. She says she's staying at someone's house. She hasn't told us whose house. If she takes the children there, yeah, that could be a bad place. There could be a safety issue, depending upon who she's staying with. We don't know. I know she's looking incredulous, but she could be staying with a sex offender.
Can I say something? Can I say something?
I'll give you an opportunity once Mr. Thompson's done.
Thank you.
That's the issue, Your Honor. Ms. Nordstedt, at least at this point, we don't have an issue with. I understand her reactions in this hearing, but if she is taking them to a third party's home, that is information that Mr. Nordstedt and the court is entitled to. I think it's in the journal entry. She has to disclose where the children are staying, Your Honor. And if there is a person, we don't know if it's a male, female, a family, we know nothing about where she's staying and where the kids might be, Your Honor.
Is Mr. Nordstedt under the same obligations under the current parenting plan?
Well, she knows where Mr. Nordstedt's staying, Your Honor. He hasn't moved. I mean,
I understand that, but if he takes them during his time to a friend's house, does he have to let her know?
No, but that's not the children's residence. If she's taking them to her, we ought to have that information where she's staying and where she would be staying with the kids.
The judge takes control. Instead of letting this spiral into back and forth accusations, he simplifies everything into one thing: structure. Days, times, schedule. That's it. This is where experience shows. He strips out emotion and replaces it with routine.
If Your Honor doesn't agree with that, I understand, Your Honor, but if this is her home base and where she's going to take the kids for each one of her visitations, we think that's information we are entitled to, as well as the court.
Okay, well, let's first establish the days that are being proposed and the times that are being proposed.
Yes, Your Honor. My client has suggested it could be 2, 3, or 4 days a week. It depends on what Ms. Nordstedt was doing, because we did not know at the time about her employment situation. She indicates she's working now. I don't know if she has one job, two jobs, but that was the suggestion. 2, 3, or 4 times, whatever works with her schedule. It was of an evening. Remember, we have a 6-year-old, 15-year-old with special needs, 5:45 to 6:15. My client works at the school. He can be out of school about 4 o'clock.
Baseball practice.
Okay, there's practice.
5:30, but yeah.
Yeah, 5:30. Okay. Yeah, he's got school commitments until 5:30, I'm told. That's why the 5:45 was proposed. And if she's working a regular hour job, she would typically get off at 5, Your Honor.
So just 30 minutes
Until it get,
visit?
it could be longer than that, Your Honor. It could be a couple hours. I mean, when does the 6-year-old go to bed? When does your daughter go to bed?
Usually about 8 or so.
They put her down about 8, Your Honor. So
We seem to have lost Miss Norstedt.
I'm sorry, my phone got too hot.
Okay.
and Your Honor, my client, 5:45 for the start time. They're in Douglas, small town. It could go as late as 7:45 with an 8 o'clock bedtime.
And what days of the week?
I leave that to Miss Norstedt. Mr. Norstedt doesn't have a preference.
How many days during the week?
Anywhere from 2. Mr. Norstedt had proposed anywhere from 2 to 4, depending upon what Miss Norstedt wanted to do.
All right, Miss Norstedt, as far as days during the week, what days would you propose you be able to have parenting time?
Well, I'd like to probably, if it's possible, just stay on the rotation that we were on before, if that's possible. So it would be the 2-2-3 typically. I mean, so I would like to stay on that rotation if possible. If I could have them more, then I would take them more. But I mean, I am working 2 jobs right now to try to retain an attorney. So,
So Monday and Tuesday, Your Honor? From 5:45 to 7:45?
well, it would rotate. So this week would be Monday, Tuesday. Next week would be Wednesday, Thursday.
Any objection to that? As far as the times and the days and the times available?
Yeah, okay. Oh, okay. Monday, Tuesday, week 1, then Wednesday, Thursday, week 2. And I just want to make sure from Ms. Norstedt, I'm understanding her proposal.
I mean, yes, if that's okay. Yeah, and if Laren needs help with them during baseball, then I would be happy to do that as well if he would let me.
So Monday and this week would be your Monday, Tuesday?
Yes.
Well, do you want to flip it? I'm sorry, Your Honor, if I may talk to Ms. Norstedt directly.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Do you want to flip it this week to see the kids? Or, because today's Tuesday.
Yeah. I mean, yes, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Is that, or I'm offering that without asking, but Wednesday, Thursday this week, and Monday, Tuesday next week?
Yes. I just want to make sure.
Okay. Wednesday, Thursday this week, Your Honor, then Monday, Tuesday next week is the proposal, as I understand it, from Ms. Norstedt, and my client agrees to.
All right, Ms. Norstedt, and are you okay with that proposal?
I am fine with that.
You would have parenting time from 5:45 to 7:45. We'll discuss the parameters of that here in a minute. I just want to establish times, and then weekends. Again, I'm not contemplating overnights under the current situation, but I want if there was parenting time available to her on the weekends of some sort, we need to establish that as well. So what would the weekend schedule be under the parenting plan as we currently agreed to?
3 to 5.
Your Honor, if we could, yeah, it'd be a bit challenging to try to do the weekends with the parenting plan, because then that'd be Saturday and Sunday. If we could just maybe make a consistent 1 weekend day per week, like Sunday from 1 to 3 or 2 to 4. I don't know if Ms. Norstedt is working a weekend job or not. We don't
If
know.
it was the weekend, if we're going to do Sunday, I would like to be able to take them to church with me. So I would propose that it would be like from 10 to 4 or something like that.
Sunday, 10 to 4?
I mean, yeah, I'll take whatever I can get, but yeah, I would like to take them to church with me.
Yeah, if, Your Honor, if it's going to church, my client also takes children to church, maybe do every other Sunday then from 10 to 4.
I think that'd be appropriate. Any objection, Ms. Norstead?
No,
And would we start? Lauren, do you mind? When do you want the Sundays to start? Do you want to take them to church this Sunday? Or
well, if we're going with our rotation, this Sunday would be his because I would have them on.
Okay.
I'm just saying if that's the way
Okay.
that we're going to keep that, then he would have them on he would take them on Sunday, and then but also I don't care. I'll take them whenever I can take them.
So this Sunday would be yours, Lauren.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine, Your Honor. So this coming Sunday would be Mr. Nordstedt's then. We're fine with that.
Okay.
The judge makes it clear. There are no abuse concerns, no substance issues, nothing extreme. That kills any inflated narrative instantly. What's left? A temporary housing problem. That's it. And once the case is framed like that, everything becomes practical instead of emotional.
All right. And as far as these don't need to be supervised visits, I don't think she needs to check in and everywhere she's going. I think it is appropriate if wherever she's currently living, if they're going to go hang out at eat there, that they at least, Ms. Norstedt, that you provide where it is that you're currently living. I think that's entirely appropriate, but I don't think there should be restrictions, or she shouldn't have to report everywhere she's taking them and what she's doing and that
No,
sort.
Your Honor, we agree with that. It's just if she's going back to where she's staying, we would like to know where she's staying and who owns the place, who it's with.
I think that's appropriate.
Yeah, that's all we want, Your Honor. And I'm sorry if it seemed like we wanted more, but no, we don't need to know that she's taking the Pizza Hut. It's the home base.
And then what about any sort of phone contact or that sort of thing? What has there been any of that going on? Or does the 6-year-old or the 15-year-old even have a phone?
No.
No, they do not have phones, Your Honor.
Okay.
Yeah, the 15-year-old is at an elementary, as my understanding, maybe an elementary school level cognitively.
All right. And I understand this, the long term with there not being stable housing, but the way I'm looking at this is there aren't any safety concerns or drug and alcohol concerns or any of those types of factors that you see a lot of times in these cases. This is simply a modification of the current plan to accommodate Ms. Norstedt's current living situation. I think if there's additional times she can see the kids, I think those need to be allowed.
Your Honor, if you would ask Ms. Norstedt to disclose where she's living and with whom.
Ms. Norstedt, can you provide that information?
If I'm not taking the kids there, is that necessary? I'm just asking. I will respect it if you think it's necessary, but I'm not going to take the kids there because of this. I'm not going to expose, it's a safe place, but for the person that I'm living with, I don't see the reason that I need to involve that if I'm staying with a friend.
If you're not going to be taking the children there,
I will not take the kids
for
there.
any reason at all,
You have my word.
I don't know if it's necessary under the current temporary order.
Thank you.
If it's discovered that you have taken the children there, I think that would cause concern.
And I am not willing to negotiate what we've agreed on, so I will not take our kids there. Again, I'm not saying that it's unsafe or it's a place they shouldn't be. I'm not going to involve that party.
All right, Ms. Norstedt, did you receive a copy of the motion to modify the parenting plan that was filed earlier today?
Yes, I got it at 3:22.
All right, I want to set,
Your Honor, I hate to parse, but she couldn't have received it 322 since it's right now 326.
I mean, 222, sorry.
that may have been, it just came through eFlex not too far before we started this
tell
hearing, but regardless of when
you
it
when I
was
got it.
received, we need to set
It was
for hearing, whether it be a status hearing on,
245, sorry.
again, it doesn't,
I got it at 2
I don't
something.
think it
Right,
matters
two?
one way or the
Right,
other
it
when
doesn't
it was
matter.
received.
No, it doesn't.
I simply
it doesn't.
want to set either a status hearing on these temporary orders or go ahead and set this motion for hearing. I haven't had a chance to review this motion, the new one that was filed.
Can I just address one thing?
Go ahead.
So things like Laren hitting a deer and not telling me that the kids were with him, does that count as something? And the fact that he's been staying with his parents with the kids and not taking care of them solo, like these are things that are kind of bothering to me, that he's done this and made it seem like I need to be supervised. And I know I'm very grateful for what we talked about today, but I just want to address those kinds of things, how I'm supposed to relay all this information and I've been kept from them and they've been kept from me, but these kinds of things can happen and I don't have to be aware of them.
Ms. Norstead, those are items that if you have concerns, you can raise those in a motion similarly and get those before the court.
Okay, thank you.
Those aren't the types of things I necessarily want to get into today. I'm simply trying to
No,
establish
I understand.
temporary orders under the current situation. And then if we need to dive into other details, whether they're brought by you or by Mr. Norstead, then we can do that at a
Your
later
Honor,
hearing.
I'm sorry,
Thank
Your
you.
Honor. Well, I'm circling back to one thing, and I don't think you ordered this one way or the other, but for health insurance for the 6-year-old, it's my understanding from Ms. Nordstead that the 6-year-old currently is not covered by insurance. I don't know if she applied for state benefits. She said she applied for something, but will the court rule on whether Mr. Nordstead is allowed to put the 6-year-old on an insurance policy, health insurance policy, so she does not remain uncovered?
Ms.
I did say that.
Norstead, is there any reason why the 6-year-old can't be placed on Mr. Norsted's insurance?
The evidentiary hearing gets scheduled, but it doesn't feel urgent, and that's intentional. Because the court isn't reacting to a crisis, it's just setting a checkpoint. If things improve, great. If not, they'll revisit. That's how controlled cases are handled.
I mean, no, I am in the process of applying for benefits for her. So if you would just let me check on that and follow back up, then there would be no need for him to do that.
And that would be through the state?
Yes,
Wouldn't,
just temporarily until I can get benefits.
well, I don't know which is better, if it's through the state or is it through the school district?
Yes, Your Honor.
How soon could he get the child added?
How soon?
I don't know that answer.
Okay, he can go to the HR folks at the school and find that information out. But it's my understanding, based on these circumstances, that the child may be added to the policy. How long it takes, he's not sure. We haven't pulled that trigger yet because we weren't sure the status of the health insurance.
Okay, Ms. Norstead, are you opposed to the child being on that insurance?
No, I just know it's going to be really expensive for him to do that. So
That would be at his cost, I'm assuming?
yeah, I mean, they cover the employees pretty well, but once you add dependents, it's going to be pretty expensive. So that's up to him.
And Your Honor, yeah, and Your Honor, it's a function of whether the child's going to be covered or not. And if Ms. Norstead gives us information that the child will be covered within the next few days or a week, that will influence Mr. Nordsted's decision. But if it's going to be a month or more, then we need to get coverage.
I think it's appropriate for Mr. Norstead to be allowed to add the child if that's going to be the quickest way and most beneficial way. If Ms. Norstedt presents information that would make that seem the better option for all parties involved, then you all can certainly consider that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, as far as time frame to get the motion to modify in front of the court, how much court time do you think we'll need to address your motion, Mr. Thompson?
Your Honor, are you thinking review hearing or evidentiary hearing?
Well, ideally, I would like to see the parties try to work this out without having to battle back and forth on these. I don't want to say they're not important, but ticky-tack type things back and forth, or this for that. However, some of these things go. I could do a 30-day status hearing to see where things are at. Perhaps Ms. Norstedt has found stable housing by then, and the parties have reached some agreements, or we can go ahead and just set an evidentiary hearing, which would probably have to be further out than 30 days.
Your Honor, my preference would be we can set it for the evidentiary hearing and get that date set, since I know evidentiary hearing dates are a little bit harder to come by than review hearing dates. And if some agreements are reached, then we can take it off docket or schedule up a review hearing.
All right, Ms. Norstedt, anything you would add?
No.
All right, do you think a half day would be appropriate for an evidentiary setting?
I believe so, Your Honor.
Ms. Norstedt, do you have any reason to believe a half day wouldn't be enough time?
No.
All right, Angela, in the 45 to 60 day range, do we have a half day? Preferably an afternoon, if not a morning. It would be an in-person hearing. All right, May 6th at 9 o'clock.
Your Honor, I have a trial in Sedgwick County all day. Actually, 2-day trial, 6th and the 7th.
Right. Angela, we can't hear you.
She's muted.
At what time? May 4th. Angela, you said we have May 4th at 9.
I'm booked. I'm sure they just said I'm booked that week of May 4th, Your Honor, either with the trial or witness prep.
June 2nd at 9.
And we're half day, correct, Your Honor? That's what we're scheduling.
Correct.
June 2nd.
If I do get an attorney and they are, I mean, like, do you just want them to enter a motion and they'll coordinate with you, or?
Your Honor, if you retain counsel, have them contact me, then if the date doesn't work, we'll contact Ms. Cool and she'll have the judge's calendar and we can make some other arrangements.
All right.
If that's okay with the court.
Right. Ms. Norstedt, does June 2nd at 9 work for you?
Yes. Yeah, as of right now, yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we'll set that for June 2nd at 9 in the morning. Mr. Thompson, could you draft an order memorializing the temporary orders that have been set forth here today?
Yes, Your Honor. And do you want me to submit it directly to the court pursuant to 170 since Ms. Nordstedt is pro se?
I think that'd be the appropriate way to do it.
Thank you.
Ms. Norstedt, I think everybody has your email address and phone number?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Mr. Thompson, are there other matters that you feel haven't been addressed that need to this afternoon?
Anything? There we go. No, Your Honor, I'm sorry. No, Your Honor.
And Ms. Norstad?
Nope. Thank you.
All right, I would encourage everyone to try to work towards agreements if you can. If not, then we'll sort them out when we return in June.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, everyone. Have a good afternoon.
You too.
And here's the final takeaway. This entire situation didn't need to be in court. That's the truth. The structure they ended up with could have been agreed on without legal pressure. Dad moved early, trying to secure control before things stabilized. Mom reacted emotionally, but stayed honest. And the judge stepped in and balanced both sides without overcorrecting. Nobody got everything they wanted, but nobody lost access either. And that's the key. This wasn't a win or lose case. It was a correction, a reset. And honestly, that's what makes it interesting. Not the conflict, but how easily it could have been avoided if communication came before escalation.